Welcome back to the PGL Open Bucharest, the second minor in a very long season indeed of the Dota 2 professional circuit. Points up for grabs this weekend, as well as $300,000 on the line as well, and we are moving inexorably towards the grand final, which will occur tomorrow, after both semis tomorrow. Today is all about the eliminations. We've already seen one team depart. They've got a long journey home. And we're going to have the same again in our next matchup. It's VG.J versus Navi, a clash of styles and a clash of regions. And we'll start things off by introducing you to the team lineup of VG.J Thunder. A thunderous lineup, complete with gangster rap music in the background as well. All it needs really is ROTK in the front, all of that, and it would be perfect. We're back at the desk once more. We've invited 2 new members to the desk today at least, but old hands, of course, at Dota 2. Fogged is back with us, and alongside him is Blitz. How you doing?
Good.
Yeah.
Just got to cast some pretty one-sided Dota.
Yeah, it was kind of flat, wasn't it? Hopefully this will be better, because this has all the right ingredients, the right players, the right teams against each other, the right regions against each other.
Yes. You know, today's the exciting day. I was like, oh, nice elimination day, but seeing Infamous go out like that was just kind of painful.
Was very disappointing from our point of view as neutrals and from theirs, I'm sure. Let's go through the VG.J Thunder lineup as we're going through it on screen right now. It's a relatively new lineup, of course. It's been together a couple of months. They're 15 and 13 in official games, which, when you look at it on paper, you go, "Oh, that's awful. That's not very good at all. That's not what we were expecting from a big Chinese team." But they've not had the easiest of routes in qualifiers or other tournaments so far, so kind of understandable.
Yeah, definitely. I think everybody was pretty surprised to see them actually getting here through like LFY, through all these other big teams. And I don't know, they look like they've been improving for sure. They only played 3 games, but I thought they'd had like some good ones. At least their early game was pretty solid. I think their late game decision making and their item decision making was a little bit questionable.
Okay.
I heard ROTK yelling a lot yesterday.
He was yelling. I mean,
he was very upset with them.
But Will, there's some signs in here of greatness, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. We saw yesterday in that game they took from EG. They can snowball games very easily. The downside for them sometimes is I think their hero picks and the way that they lane is kind of at a disadvantage for them oftentimes. Like that series against EG, when they did well in the lanes, great. Everything's working out okay. When they did poorly in the lanes, they got rolled over really quickly.
Yeah, their recovery methods seem to be lacking. I like the way that Yang in particular was playing the Earth Spirit in the mid game, in like the early game, and then afterwards it was like he really started suffering. You could see like maybe the nerves a little bit started to kick in. Just they started feeling like they were under the pressure because I mean that was the 80-minute game base defense, so it's reasonable to get a little bit of pressure on him. But
well, we'll see when they're under pressure today, because they're up against the team who love that kind of pressure. They thrive on it. They have, of course, got a former TI winner in their ranks. Let's meet them right now. It's Team Navi. Taken them a while to find the right lineup. Fogged, I think it's reasonable to say, but does it also feel that somehow they've got the right ingredients this time? Because if anything, I've seen Dendy as he's revitalized in the last couple of months.
I've liked the big 3 that they kept for a while: General, Seneko, and Dendy. They've been, at least for me, General and Seneko have been like these 2 like solid guys that tend to not really have too many poor performances in their games. Dendy, at a time he had some slumps, but now he's been seeing like a little bit more rise. And they're new guys. I mean, Roger pretty much gives them that art style factor that they had before. It's like the Chen and Enchantress. He's always very aggressive in the early game. It's pretty nice to see. And then of course Crystallize. He's I don't know. I have a lot of respect for the guy. Like, he's like the new guy coming in. He's very young. He's been playing pretty damn well under the pressure of these, you know, former TI winner like Dendy and everything. It does take a bit to get used to.
Yeah, inevitably will. You're going to get some ups and downs when you bring in a new young kid like that. You're going to see some really good highs, and everyone's going to be raving about him. But he's also going to have some rough games now and again, and it's how he bounces back from that, isn't it?
Yeah, and for the most part, I think he's been relatively stable. I feel like Crystallize has been the player that they've felt the most comfort with, just in terms of how he can move around the map. They often put him in the roughest situations. Like, oftentimes you'll see him go, he's at top lane. Well, now he's at bottom lane. Whatever gives the rest of his team the biggest advantage, he's willing to tank that for his team. And that's not something you see out of a new player. Oftentimes you're going to cater your strategies more around the youngsters and have the veterans play that role. And instead, he's kind of just taken to that fish and water.
Yeah, he gets sacked a lot in their games. I've been seeing like over and over. But he gets sacked, and he's still like 0-0. So it's like he's playing versus like two heroes, and he's still just like chilling. He's doing pretty well instead of just feeding.
We picked out this matchup actually in the carry lane because of the fact that he's played so well. But head-to-head, a guess in a way against Freeze, who, you know, when you look at it on paper, this is quite a cool lineup between these two.
All right, between Siler, right? Yeah.
Siler, rather. Yeah.
I mean, Siler took a long break, right? He was gone for 6 months or something, maybe longer than that. He wasn't playing, so it's definitely a difference for him to come back into this completely different kind of Dota that we have now. Because it was before, I think it was before 7, or it was right after 7.0 hit that he took a long break.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen him. In the past, of course, he was just like that stable carry. In the past, he was that Luna player that would always TP to fight. Very versatile in his own right. Of course, a very veteran presence in the scene, probably, especially in his team. Not the youngster at all.
It doesn't seem to have hurt him missing those months as well, because he missed pretty much the early part of the 7.0.
Yeah, very skilled still, though. Like, the way that I see his play, I think he used that time to kind of adapt, get used to the new heroes, kind of adjust his play style than what he used to play in the past. And I think it's worked out for him. But, of course, results haven't all the way been there. Yesterday against EG, a little bit rough.
Yeah.
But he's also a meta picker as well.
Yes, he's been changing that.
Just help.
Changing it up a lot.
He's got a brood in there as well if he needs it. He's got a Veno if he needs it. I mean, that's pretty on meta right now.
His popular hero, well, one of his most popular heroes is also like leading at the top of this tournament. It's the Pugna. Of course, we've been seeing it kind of like shaky from here and there just because of the matchups it's been playing versus, like Clockworks and Nyx and stuff like that. But that guy used to love playing Pugna. I feel like I used to see him play it so often in those aggro tri-lanes and stuff. It was either him or ROTK playing it back in the day when they'd play together.
Draft's not too far away, so let's turn our attention to hero choices and how this might go down. We mentioned quite heavily with Na'Vi, Will, yesterday that they picked very CIS-like.
Oh, they're going to run at you.
They're going to run at you.
And that's going to be no different today, is it?
Yeah. Something that... Okay, so we're at Starlighter the other day, right? And Complexity, they lost game 1. And Chessie comes up, and he's smiling. I was like, why are you smiling? He's like, because we forgot how Na'Vi played. These guys will always fight us. And he's like, if you're not ready for that, then it's going to blow you away. You need to be ready to fight these guys at all times because their ability to 5-man is very strong. What you want to do if you're going to beat Na'Vi is you want to force them to split up, start playing this like split push style that they do, because I have not seen that work for Na'Vi yet. When Na'Vi is on top of things, it's because they're fighting, they're catching you nonstop, they're pushing the pace at all times.
I feel like that's when they're at their biggest strength, when they have like these big team fight heroes, this Void, this Mag. I mean, we saw those specifically yesterday, but that's when they rose to fruition. I mean, of course, they had the Roger Chen, which got absolutely massive, but that's their playstyle. It's like I was mentioning before. It's really lovely having that kind of player like Roger. He's this new kind of guy coming in, and everybody's pretty much having to ban Chen or Enchantress versus him. And there we see it. They do remove both, so Na'Vi can grab either
nice,
Night Stalker.
Nice bit of respect.
This is so Vici really were liking the Earth Spirit yesterday, and it's been pretty dominant.
They can take Nyx though, and that way you take away Dendy's, Lina, and Queen of Pain. That he's been picking a lot, especially that Lina. I think that has been so crucial for Na'Vi.
Yeah, do like the Nyx a lot.
They lost yesterday, Mineski 2-1. They won one game.
Who?
Na'Vi.
Yes.
I'm trying to figure out what 5 you take here though. You can do like Nyx Bane. But they've been doing third pick Witch Doctor, I think, like every game.
Yes, they've had it at all 3 of their series. No, all 3 of the games they played versus EG.
So I'm trying to figure out what the play is then.
Do they go for something? I mean, the Nyx doesn't match up well versus the NS at all, but it's good versus the like overall game. I wonder if they copy like the Spirit Breaker kind of strat, but
yeah,
that's a difference.
Wow. Shaman, that is Okay, and the instant rebuttal. And this, I think, because Na'Vi knows that the third pick... they know that the third pick Witch Doctor's coming.
It's also good versus the Nature's Prophet. But Na'Vi just insta-picked that.
Yeah.
They didn't hesitate whatsoever on that one,
already.
I'm really weirded out by...
that opener.
Yeah, that opener is really weird, especially since NP, historically, I guess he's kind of... They both work against each other pretty well, Night Stalker and NP.
Well, you were saying that one of the playstyles versus Na'Vi is to kind of pull them apart, right?
Yeah.
So that can be the kind of approach maybe that Thunder is looking at.
This is a really annoying opener to deal with, too.
And also, it's like, when you're playing versus Night Stalker, the way that you kind of deal with him, you can group up after one point. And they have Shadow Shaman, Nature's Prophet to kind of push down towers. So if they don't get crushed in the lane by this Night Stalker, they can actually use that really well for themselves.
Boba once told me, he's like, this one game I'm playing Night Stalker, I can't remember which competitive game it was. He was like, I had a 20-minute ags really fast, and then the enemy team was just pushing racks, but at least I could see them.
See them, but unable to do anything.
Yeah, you just kind of like watch them come at you, and you throw some voids out, but not able to do anything else.
Quick bans coming out. Na'Vi not hesitating at all. They're looking at that lineup. They see Shadow Shaman, Nature's Prophet. They're like, yep, push lineup, take out the Death Prophet. One of Thunder's also their more popular heroes.
I thought they were going to actually lead Earth. I thought they were going to take Earth Spirit or Nyx into DP second pick, and then third pick the Witch Doctor.
I thought they would do some like Earth Spirit Bloodseeker kind of combo because they showed it yesterday, and I think they looked pretty strong with it overall.
Yeah, but it might just be an internal meta thing when they took the Bloodseeker.
Yeah,
because it was successful against EG, and EG likes it as well.
It's true. I love those kind of series metas that kind of come out.
Yeah, because now VG, they're gonna show like what kind of playstyle that they prepared against Na'Vi, and that'll allow Na'Vi to kind of adjust as well throughout the series. But Clockwork, very good ban. General Clockwork, although I think they've lost like all 3 games with Clockwork.
I think so too. I think they're setting up for Pugna, for Thunder.
Thunder? That would make sense. Although then banning the Necro is a little bit weird.
Yeah. Just I mean, we've seen how well the Clockwork does versus it, and they already have a push lineup, so.
What do you ban here then if you're... Okay, so they ban
still
Earth
take
Spirit.
out the Earth Spirit.
Then I think Nyx is still... Is there another 4 position that I'm not seeing? Oh, it's Kunkka. They need catch.
Yeah, definitely need catch. Good team fight that they were already kind of lacking.
What's Na'Vi take then?
Something stable that's... The thing is like
They should wait. I think you can take your... I think you can take your offlaner here, and then you wait for the carry. Or you can take your carry here. You can take like Sven straight up right now, and then you can save the offlaner versus carry matchup, which is really nice when you're when you're first pick.
They do like the Sven. They usually save Crystallize for 4th or 5th, but it's like the matchup versus Nature's Prophet, of course.
You already know that you're playing against an offlane Prophet, likely. But they take
Puck? For the Puck, okay. I was thinking that like they might not grab it because the Shadow Shaman's there, and it's a little annoying to play versus those instant disables as Puck, but this is also one of their more played heroes, and it leaves it ambiguous, right? We don't know if it's mid, we don't know if it's offlane. More than likely, this is general, but...
After the 4th pick, though, it doesn't really matter. Because your first pick, you have to show 2 consecutive cores anyways. I still think Sven's good here, though. He's a BKB hero. He doesn't really care about the summons or the wards or anything like that, because Warcry is really good.
I like Sven or Lycan for Na'Vi, because they've got the Night Stalker already, and it just runs at all 3 of these heroes pretty hardcore.
VG Thunder could take it for themselves as well.
Yeah.
That was always the counter. Like, there was this meta established at TI, which I actually think was kind of bad. It was like, you pick Night Stalker, then the enemy team insta-counters Lycan.
Oh.
Oh, it's like super wombo.
We have not seen that in Dude, I haven't seen Darkseer in ages. We didn't see it. We didn't see it once at Starlighter, right?
Yeah. I think you take like Sven or AM here.
AM's looking pretty solid versus Nature's Prophet and Darkseer. So we have a Nature's Prophet and a Darkseer though. So what? Safe lane Nature's Prophet?
It's Yang's most played hero, by the way, in this batch.
Oh, really?
Darkseer, yeah.
The Darkseer, huh?
Yeah.
That's weird, because this hero's just fallen off in general.
But he's probably the only one that's still playing.
Yeah. Not a lot of teams run it anymore.
No. But you'd imagine that's where it's going.
Yeah, I mean, it's unless they run some support Darkseer, some safe lane Darkseer or something. Which
yeah, all right. New meta.
No.
Please don't do that.
New Thunder
Please
meta.
don't do that.
I don't know. Maybe he farms a really fast Radiant and just runs around.
I think Sven, AM, and Lycan are the big three for me for Na'Vi.
Send AM and Lycan.
Because Lycan versus Darkseer, you get the regen as well to tank through the Ion Shells and to synergize as well with their lineup with the coil. They can't really run away.
Yeah. They should likely they're both supports though. I don't know if Navi's an AM team though.
I don't feel like they are.
It doesn't really matter what they pick here though, because they have to show 2 consecutive cores anyways.
Unless they switch the Night Stalker offlane. General has played it before in the past.
That's true too. But I don't know if what 4 position
I agree.
is like insane here. They take PL instead.
Okay.
That was something I had considered, but I don't know. That hero feels really underwhelming to me. It did win though yesterday against EG.
It did. Natural Diffusal builder, pretty decent versus Darkseer after like that, but Darkseer also is okay versus PL because you get the illusion.
Yeah.
So
I'm surprised. But I thought that VG.J's lineup, the thing they like right now is like they don't really have too much catch. They have X, but like, Puck can dodge that. I guess PL for the most part can dodge all the spells too.
they still ban the Quap too.
Yeah, they need to ban mobility right now. Otherwise, like they can just get stormed or something. And Vici, they need a, because I'm imagining that's a safe lane profit now.
Yeah, it has to be unless, I mean, I don't think they'll put it mid. That doesn't sound good versus.
So you need a mid like DK or something like that.
I think maybe they decided to put that Nature's Prophet out of the off lane because of the Witch Doctor. Like that's just like, it's not a direct obviously counter or anything like that, but it just makes it harder. And
yeah,
okay, Navi Sven ban makes a lot of sense since with PL and versus Darkseer.
Okay, so they have to reveal another core here. What do you take? Like Lina again? That seems like a default. Or you could move Dendy Puck.
Yep. Yeah, I was going to say, General hasn't played it a huge amount. He's only played Puck 7 times in professional games and has a 28% win rate. So it's not great, but he did play it yesterday. So
I feel like I'm getting influenced a bit because yes, I'm like thinking they might pick Mag here for Dendy just to boost up the PL, but it doesn't sound great.
If they were to take an offlaner and move the Puck mid, then they take a batter and LC. And if they take a mid, then I'd like to see Lina or I don't know. You need like a.
I like the bat. Yeah. Oh, it's Lina. Okay.
Yeah. So if it is mid, we said Lina. I couldn't think of another hero honestly for Navi.
It's Dendy's most popular. It is. It's like his most played hero as well.
It's not even a hard call, honestly. It was just more if there was an opportunity for Puck mid, because it's not a bad Puck game.
No.
So then Vici Thunder, they need something that clashes with the Lina pretty well. It's going to be Ember. They need a catch.
Catch versus Puck, decent versus PL later stages.
This lineup fights and pushes.
Double, and it's an Ion Shell carrier, so they do want to be using that.
What do you make of that then, boys? Interesting draft.
Yeah, I'll let you in on a secret, Paul.
Go on.
I'm very biased. I always root for the underdog.
Way. Really?
I want the
I've
underdog
never seen
to win.
that before.
I want the underdog to win. But I don't know who the underdog is.
The next surprising thing you'll be telling me is that when EG play, that Fog says he always predicts CG. I mean, it's weird.
Dude, Paul, can you stop?
Wait, what?
I'm getting like ripped apart because of you lately.
Really?
No,
come on,
I'm
man.
just kidding. It's fine.
All right, predictions time. Where you going? There's no EG in this game, by the way.
I'm going to go Navi. I think they've got more comfort heroes.
Okay.
I think that VG.J is actually the underdog in this series. And so I will root for them. And I think that VG.J will take this cleanly.
All right.
Nice.
Split decision then. VG.J, the underdog, apparently, in this series. Well, let's find out as we'll head into game number 1. Don't forget, these are elimination series right now. So best of 3, win 2, and you're through to the final game in the group. Who's it going to be? Navi or VG.J that start things off well? Let's head to the commentary team for game number 1.
You know, Malini, I feel really, really sorry for Fogged. Paul has been on his ass about this whole EG bias thing, American bias thing. I think Paul's just jealous because he can't be biased to anyone. There's no UK team.
What about you and your Australian team? You like
My Australian team?
Your
Where's
Australian
Natural
player?
9? Natural... Hang on. Don't you just put one player into that?
Well, Anna doesn't play anymore.
Okay, one player. We got KP still. Yeah. But he's been amazing.
I thought you were about to get me real good there, Toby.
I was like, well, who am I going to pull out of my bag? Gods? I'm sorry. This doesn't work for us. Let's quickly run through our lineups. We had Freeze on the Ember. Yang's going to be on to the wonderful Darkseer Sylar, who is giving us a farming profit, which should always be fun to watch. We have Io. Luckily, there's no Io to confuse us in this one. He'll be playing the support Shadow Shaman, and this gives support Fade as Conquer in a very pimped up set. Wrapping up our lineup from VG.J Thunder, while Seneko, the big star of Na'Vi's support lineup, all he's got to do is throw a cask, and he's basically got a Ravage ultimate. Phantom Lance of a Crystallize, been amazing in that one roll of late. He'll be farming away. Dendi has the burst and also the money. That's why he's got the Immortal. Yang, however, may not have his life. The cask flies out. Na'Vi's in position, and Seneko will spill the first blood. Money into the supports, and a huge shout out to our main observer who is taking over for the food poisoned observers that we have. It is Lyrical. We believe in you, bro. We believe in you. I think the only other ones which we missed in the lineup was General on Puck, and Roger is playing the Night Stalker. And Merlini, that is the teams.
Thank you. Excellent introduction, sir. Introduction.
It was a special request from Merlini.
I always like it.
Yeah.
And
get our bearings.
Already first blood has been spilled. I don't exactly know why Yang was down there, because they do have the Nature's Prophet trance to scout, and it was he saw only one hero on top, and that was the Phantom Lancer. And Darkseer, he isn't likely going to escape, and you really don't want to take Surge level 1, so bit of a, you know, do you really need that bounty rune when you don't know where any of the heroes are?
Probably not. Well, you want to keep Roger alive. That's definitely an essential thing. Shackles are available here from Io. He's going to lock down Roger. Where's that follow-up torrent? Still on cooldown after the initial harassment, but Roger's so low. He turns around for a quick void onto Kama. He looks to go into the trees, cuts his way through, and VG.J, they are train running under the tier 1 tower almost, while Io can keep Dendi under control. Roger will fall. Dendi gets a return, but they're locked in. The Dire Creep came in to block him in position, so Kama will drop, and Fade has no way out. What is this? 5 kills were only 1 at the end of the game underneath the tier 1 tower. Even General came back to try and help out for that.
Trying to kill a Night Stalker at level 1 is really tough. Night Stalker is on the tier of Spirit Breaker, of tankiest level 1 heroes. And, I mean, I guess Night Stalker did burn through a fair amount of tangos, but yeah, that's really not the start that you want to give Dendi.
Yeah. Giving Dendi a start like that is nice. Obviously, there were heavy rotations that came in from Na'Vi, like General moving off the lane, created a lot of space for Nature's Prophet to have more fun. Yang, however, not as much fun on the bottom lane. Maldic is on him taking a huge amount of damage. Is still only level 1. Not certain, yeah, won't be anywhere near enough to tick him out, but back into mid. Io under attack. He'll fall down the torrent, clipping Roger, who is bone dry in mana, but he's went under the ears with gold as the tier 1 tower. Na'Vi 5-1, 2 minutes in. I fear for General on top lane. I think that's the only lane which is really going well for VG.J right now.
Yeah, but he's a puck. He's very unlikely to die. I think to make more...
They're going again on Dendi. I don't think you even got time. Next time you want to say something, say it quickly, because Dendi's dead, and it won't be long before we have another kill.
To make more sense of that level 1 play, why did they dive so deep? Yeah, it ended up very poorly for them, but I think overall with the mentality of the position 1 Nature's Prophet is that you want to fight early, you want to fight often. They're actually trying to be more aggressive than Na'Vi, which is a pretty tough task to mount. But I think if you have a position 1 Nature's Prophet, that's okay. That's kind of exactly what you want. He's going to hit his levels really fast. He can teleport around the map. He's going to be huge, and you can do those tower dives normally if you have the trance tanking for you. But it's a little bit too early for them. He didn't have TP at the time, but it's still kind of the right play for them.
Yeah. It can work out as long as you get the, like, it's the trade-off, right? That's what you're talking about. Fade chasing up to Seneko. The shackle won't last very long, thanks to the cask already getting out. LX Mark spot him all the way back in. They're letting the Iron Shells. Yang already being able to get his second level up into that. So the damage on Fade, who got surged in, was really nice. Goodness. And Io happy to survive, while in mid lane, they charge in. Kama able to survive the Orb of Venom. He's thinking about coming back in again. Now the bottle charge have enabled him. Sylar has TP'd in with a Sprout, controlling Dendi. The phase boot's been triggered, but he'll back off, dragging in more rotations as Seneko comes mid as well.
Well, now this is the trial for you, Lyrical.
Hey, he's been doing fantastic. I don't think he's missed anything right here. See the mouse jump across the screen in freakish. Oh my god, I'm going to fail. Seneca's looking for Yang.
That was a really unlucky bounce that the Shaman took, too. He cast the shackles and took a bounce to the face.
Mm-hmm. Well, Sila's going to return to the top lane once more. And Camera's just hoping he can get a little bit more CS out of this mid. Dendi is ahead of him at the moment. While Torrent, at least going to stop the haste rune. Stun will last long enough, but actually no, Seneco's going to grab it. And Fade is in no man's land. He does not survive this. Roger and Seneco can work together, and it does not take long to bring him down. Roger punches him into the grave. And they can rotate mid now. Haste rune is up. Io's already here to try and protect his mid.
See how they're trying to create so many opportunities, though, for Nature's Prophet. Like, if you had gotten that haste, that would have been a great place to TP in and then trying to get a free kill on the Witch Doctor. So they are looking for those, but these lanes are still not going particularly well for Thunder. Ember's actually not having that bad of a time, though. I would like to highlight that. He has 2 kills.
Well, until now. Roger moving in, gets the Void, Shackle on Seneco. They're just trying to make sure the cask isn't part of this. But Light Strike Array from Dendi creates a little bit of space, but not enough for Seneco to live. The Torrent doing its work. Syla TP's in and is there to help secure the kill onto Roger, who was X marks back into this. He didn't really need to come for that fight, but come he did.
Yeah, I think this is one of Freeze's best heroes, the Ember Spirit, too. So he's going to be... It's a tough game for him. There's a lot of long duration, short cast point silences, and the Puck and the Crippling Fear. And the Lina can knock him out, or catch him out with the Shadow Blade later on. But this is kind of the start that you want. He might be too tanky for them to burst down during the silence, which is exactly where you want to be. And I don't believe... Uh-oh. Well, I'm not sure if Night Stalker... Okay. There's no Night Stalker there, though. Night Stalker needs to be over there.
Yeah, you mean the vision so he can see the high ground?
Oh, you could see that VG.J immediately pinged out where he was because of that. But using the smoke to drop the Obs Ward, I do like that, too.
At least keeps the vision up until VG.J try and counter ward underneath where they already understand there's a sentry.
Well, it also protects Dendi, because Dendi is kind of the main person that you want to gank right now.
You might look to bottom in a moment. Yang's trying to get this camp up. Crystallize moving through it. Roger. Okay, support comes in from Seneco. It comes a little bit late, but it's this huge stack that Crystallize wants to be able to farm up and definitely ensure that Yang can't take with Iron Shell spam. Because at the moment, the Iron Shell spam's actually doing it. Top. General, Wrath of Nature's going to bounce into him again, pulled back in with the X marks spot into a shackle. He needs to get out of this one with a quick phase shift into the trees. It won't happen. Io could reach him with the base attack.
And also a tough puck game. Yeah, they don't, like, X is unreliable, but Hex and Shackle are very reliable, as is the Searing Chains coming out from Ember. So, yeah, it looks like this early game, after the disastrous 3v1, is still doing okay. Oh, he wasn't able to
we still have 1 minute until the daytime's going to arrive, and this will allow the silence to last long enough.
He was so
the
close
Ember can't
to
jump
getting
away, and Seneco's
shield
on the run from Yang, but he can't keep up with that one either. They'll have to just disengage again.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
These teams are not pulling back.
No reason to.
Well, this is a good trap. Smoke's going to break. They understand Roger. Outside of the pit. They got wards on either side of the pit, so both Io and Fade understand this. So they let the Night Stalker run north to catch Dendi while he's farming, and he got rooted up by the Ancients. The Torrent will follow through. Where's your Wrath of Nature? You don't need it when you bring in Syla with the Light Strike Array catching 2. Dendi will fall. Io, well, he will die from this one. The Maldix is on him, but at least he can keep the control up with the shackles and movement in from Kama. They'll get the kill onto Roger. Not wanting to give any breathing room to Dendi in the mid.
Dendi's probably wondering how the hell he ganked him right there. Because Night Stalker, he was in a position to flush out any sort of smokes. The only way they could have done that is if they like smoked through the north, but I think that Witch Doctor was around there, or they hid in the pit like they did. That was a very difficult gank to avoid and almost impossible to see coming.
Something which is actually crazy to think of too. Like, you look at the last hits and denies at the very bottom, 0, 0, 0, 0 are the 2 supports for Thunder. But net worth and experience-wise, they're both level 4.5. These rotations have been wonderful, and they've got more net worth than the Witch Doctor currently, and almost as much as the Night Stalker. Don't need CS. Their lane, their ganking has just been more than enough.
Yeah, it's been pretty good for them. They aren't level 6, though. I think Shaman's going to need a tome pretty soon, but they will get the majority of the stack. I believe Centaur Camp had already died before, but not bad for them. And they don't have a Diffusal yet, and they don't really have a good way to take off the Flame Guard and the Ion Shell, so Ember Spirit still can do a ton of damage up until that point where Phantom Laser gets his Diffusal Blade. So it looks like he's one bots and a Diffusal, the same build that we saw yesterday from Mushi.
Right, you asked for the levels. They're both giving it in the mid. Nice Stalker versus Shaman. Most thrilling matchup we've had so far in the laning phase.
Thrilling.
Thrilling.
I'm at the edge of my seat.
There's a reason why Thriller was shot during the nighttime. That's what we have to wait for from Roger.
Yeah.
Top lane, Fade and Sylar, adding pressure towards the tower. General does have Dream Call. He can catch both Fade as well as Sylar, and this Sylar's already TPing out. Accepts the fact that Fade is going to die. The torrent timing, it was right, but General is better. Able to dodge it nice and quickly, while in mid, it was a jump forward, very quick movement. Camera actually, after farming the bottom, still had a haste root inside of his bottle. So jumped into mid, ran him down, and you can say goodbye to the Night Stalker.
I look at Frieza's positioning too. He's trying to cut off those supports from defending the lane. Nature probably uses TP scroll, so he's able to completely capitalize on the TP rotation top and get this relatively free tower mid. That was a really good move. They only sacrificed a Kunkka for this, so should be happy, pretty happy about that.
Yep. Navi actually was starting to TP out. They had an inkling they could defend this, and TP ended up being cancelled.
Too many heroes at a TP top. I don't actually think they needed the hero that TP'd in there.
I think it was the Night Stalker that was starting his TP from base. Either way.
Oh, he's going Diffusal first. Okay, he's skipping over to BOTs. So he wants to kind of nail this Ember, like nip it in the bud early and don't let him get out of control with that. That is, especially a well-played Ember who can like slight dodge, cast and light strike arrays and maybe even a Laguna. Like he is going to be able to do a lot of damage. And he has boat buff too, so he's like, you know, he can kind of just run in there without a worry. So I kind of do like that change up. I don't really think he needs the BOTs because the pressure from the Nature's Prophet early is going to be way too much for him to be able to split push and utilize those bots and get value. That would be a very low value meter.
General's ready up on this top lane once again. Kunkka looking for the torrent connection. Won't happen because General's already starting to back out. But they have Mass Weapon wards available and Nature's Prophet ready to TP in with level 4 Trians. So these towers for Na'Vi are not going to last very long.
And right now they have the problem where no one's really making things happening because General doesn't have Blink yet. He's very close. And Night Stalker, there's no nighttime yet, but he's very close. So they might have to concede this tower, but that doesn't mean that for the next few minutes they're still going to be playing on the back foot. I think things are going to start heating up maybe right after his Blink Dagger.
I love the quick change up. So you commit in heavily to the top. General's thinking about it tonight, but think twice about it. But very quickly, like when that push was happening, Yang TP towards the mid. So he's accepting the fact the bottom lane could be ganked or lost. So he just starts adding pressure towards the mid lane where the tier 1 tower doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, that was a good move from him. He's been struggling a little bit in the lane. And looks like they are going to...
Snako with Death Ward. He should actually get this one. There's a shrine to be used. Yang doesn't... You know, he needs more life and it won't happen. Roger just walks past. If he had a taunt, he could do it on the way past him.
Yeah, but he read the gank, but he didn't wait long enough. He could have... Another problem with the Nature's Prophet too is like he can farm so many places of the map because Nature's Prophet is farming that left area closer to Shrine. I think normally that's where you would go to if you're a Darkseer because they're going to wrap around from the south side into the mid and try and sweep the jungle. And he didn't really have a great place to farm. But I mean, it's better to co-farm with the Nature's Prophet than die. But I actually think it should be Sylar pushing out the lanes. But he's also scared because of that gank up towards the bottom side of the map.
And
Sylar's also looking for that nice item timing to get into the Orchid after having both Phase and Drums. Want more control. Dendy troublesome when that ship is going to be right on top of his head. Crushed by the waves. Camera as well as Fate want to go for more. Sylar brings in the drum charges, chasing down General. They've got both Vag and the Searing Chain, so General's TP will not be successful. And 2 cores from Na'Vi fall very quickly.
Yeah, they're actually not doing that great in terms of gold though, because they are 2 towers up, but they're still losing out in gold. So and this is certainly not going to help matters for them, but at least they do stop the Lina before the Bloodstone.
Yeah, at least slow that down.
Yep. And Yang's able to keep his towers alive. They've been doing a really good job of pushing lanes out. Again, another benefit of the Nature's Prophet. Like, they are really fast. It's 14 minutes in. This is just way too early of a time for Na'Vi to really do that much.
Well, the panel were quoting it, right? Like, when the draft was happening, what happens? Like, if you have a wonderful hero, at least with Night Stalker, you could see them coming at you, I think was the phrase they were using. But they're still going to be coming at you, and you can't do anything about it. They're looking for more fighting, and they're going to get it. Night Stalker being the man. Then we'll go down to Fade's boat. The pressure was already heavily applied by the Master Serpent Wards. That talent's in a position where they can kill it off quite easily. And Seneko thought about defending, but loses his life for that thought.
Just look at how well they're playing around their cooldowns, though. How many times have they used Serpent Wars already, right? How many times have they used both? And like, these two supports were just level 4.5, like at 8 minutes.
Yep.
So they, as soon as they hit their ultimates, boom, things are happening, things are happening, things are happening, things are happening. And again, a lot of the opportunities that have been created by this Nature's Prophet pick, which I really do favor, and I hope some more teams actually look into the possibility of running the position 1 Nature's Prophet that has fallen out of favor because he doesn't carry super hard, but he's really good for this sort of play style.
I love how we actually like just casually referred to Natural 9 at the very start of this. Remember, they were one of the ones very early in the days of Dota 2 that started doing this with mass Serpent Wards as well as nothing but trees, just mass pushing down the lane. They were doing it because of lag reasons, but their timings is what VG.J are replicating very, very nicely.
Yep.
Wards come off cooldown, we push. So in the next push time is 25 seconds when Mass Serpent Wards from Shadow Shaman are up. And this is the focus to Avayo. He's going directly into the Aghanim Scepter. They really want to buff this up and do some damage to Na'Vi's high ground.
So that is a Diffusal Blade already picked up, so now Ember Spirit is going to be a very vulnerable target in the fights.
Yep.
Still, he does have Boat, though. That's going to be pretty strong for him.
He's got
Can't
Boat,
dispel it.
and Mech is up in 350 gold.
It's just, I mean, I definitely think that they saw the Diffusal Blade because he is in the bottom lane. They realize he has no BOT, so he is going for that first. But again, they use the wards on cooldown.
Yep. Objective after objective. I'm even loving the fact that Sylar's leaving one tree in there to tank, then puts in the secondary one, lets every other tree scout out anyone that might be coming towards them. But this Roshan, without a Solar Crest, without even, sorry, a medallion, is taking forever for VG.J to achieve.
Radiant's bottom tower is
At least they're keeping their wards alive by having the trees in there, but Na'Vi grouping around. They're not bringing everyone back. Crystallize still farming and pushing on the bottom lane. He can TP to the shrine with no problem, and Na'Vi giving a good job of scouting inside the pit. And with a catapult wave on the bottom as well, this tier 2 tower is almost gone. And VG.J, they bring Kama down to the bottom lane to start the defense. And Na'Vi initiate instantly, looking for the conquer. The paralyzing cast going to cause problems. And with no mass up, with no heavy damage, they'll lose the conquer. And there's no quick follow-up. In fact, they're just dropping like flies now. VG.J, so much being lost. Ember has to do some serious lifting. The Vac hasn't done enough. And Kama, he's caught on the wrong side. That Diffuser Blade is just making it impossible for him to fight and survive. He moves up over towards Denny. The Light Strike Array will be able to miss, but he's bringing Na'Vi into a comfort zone underneath their shrine. Quick Spirit Jump back down into the river, but Crystallize with a Phantom Rush. He's able to keep up with those fast pumping legs. Kama cannot make it back to the Radiant Shrine to regenerate, and Na'Vi with a huge fight.
Really poor positioning by the Kunkka. He wasn't able to get his boat off. I think if he gets his boat off, like, everyone can at least get their spells off. And as you mentioned, no medallion early on in the fight. I don't think Roach would have fallen even with a medallion, but it would have at least made their situation a lot less bleak. But good timing by Na'Vi too. Like, they're at the right time with the Diffusal Blade. Again, the Diffusal Blade over bots was a really big deal for this, and he doesn't get any spells off. This cast and the dewarding at the start by the Witch Doctor crushed this fight. They lose 2 heroes without really any harm.
It's when you actually wanted to, like that cask, it acted practically as a Ravage, but where were the Treants? Where was everything else to soak it up?
Well, they were all in the pit.
Yeah, they all got lost in the pit, which means...
It's a nice Bloodstone boost to Dendy, too. Dendy now has 16 Bloodstone charges, and he has BOTs ready. So they're going to have 2 BOTs pretty soon, which is going to do wonders in dealing with the split push coming out from the Nature's Prophet. And now what is VG.J's next move? They are... I don't think they can do Roche again, even with the next round of cooldowns. They still would need a Solar Crest to do so.
It would seem to make more sense if you just push the lanes. Like, they're grouping up on bottom of 3-man smoke. They're wrapping around, but Na'Vi is here in force. 4 heroes. Who's going to go down first? General! The blink into a 3-man silence and the Dream Call controlling up the Darkseer for the moment. BTs will bring Crystallize to the front lines. They're shackling and controlling up Snako inside the Mount Serpent Ward. So at least the Witch Doctor is gone, but you've lost the Ember. Trade not worth it for VG.J. The boat plus Torrent will create a little bit of space for VG.J to start a mass exodus. They all want out, and they're all actually going to get out, apart from the fallen comrades of both sides.
What happened to Ember Spirit? He just got thwomped on the
he
right
got caught out, so the rest of VG.J almost looked like they just started fighting against Snako. Snako was the critical hero, and Ember was on the wrong side. That simple. Did he BT in?
He doesn't have bots.
Okay, then yeah, never mind. I don't know why he got so far to the east.
Still great Torrent boat, but not enough. Sylar.
Well, he's trying to force the top lane. Laguna's still on cooldown for the moment, but Snako's there. Sylar's dead. Bloodstone charge +1.
They have lost all their momentum because of not being able to get that Roche.
X waiting for the Torrent timing. Dendi, well, it will be able to connect, and it was the max wait time just so Kama could come in close. Death Ward doing some decent damage into the Ember Spirit, but they go once more, pulling Dendi in. Remove some of those Bloodstone charges, bringing him down to 12, but they want to get more back-to-back kills. Dendi's already alive and TP'd over, while General holds the rest of VG.J Thunder in position with that Dream Call. Fate will fall. And VG.J are fully on the run. Well, whoever can still run is alive to do so. Ember Spirit into the tree line. Will dodge at least the orb of General, but how do you get further away from this? Double Searing Chains will help. The Lance from Crystallize, he lost the vision quickly. Underneath the tower, Na'Vi begin to dive. Yang will give the surge, but it just gets purged off by the Diffusal Charge. And Ember Spirit can't run out this one. Sylar will come in, the wall is down, while Phantom Lancer trapped in the tree. Snako walks in underneath the tower with practically no life, trying to help out with one physical attack is all he brought to that engagement.
Well, the rest of the team doesn't have Phantom Rush, so they can't really help him out. The Phantom Lancer does have the right idea in the team fights, which is hone in on the Ember Spirit. As soon as Ember Spirit saw the Phantom Lancer in the jungle, he immediately ran away. He knows he can't survive. He knows he can't do any damage because of the Diffusal Blade. But now, VG.J actually have a lot of solutions to the Diffusal Blade. He had to purge off the Surge, and then immediately after that, he cast Flame Guard, and then he's very, very tanky. And then on top of that, he's going for the Yules. So now you have this problem of you only have one Diffusal carrier who has 5 things to purge off. There's going to be multiple heroes Ion Shuttle in the fight. What if it's not Ember Spirit? Ember Spirit has Flame Guard, Yules, and you're going to be running low on charges pretty soon too. So might be a little bit of a concern for them later. I guess he can just replace his Diffusal when he is really rich. But now the PL pick makes a lot more sense because now you have this hero that can fight a lot earlier. Like, he can fight as soon as he has the Diffusal Blade. That's 3,000 gold. That's less than a Battle Fury. And if they had picked an AM, they wouldn't have been able to capitalize on this midpoint in the game where the Ember Spirit would have run rampant if it were an AM instead.
I got another new item up as well. Denny's managed to pick up Shadow Blade. One way to get around all of that is by hitting that stun before you can have Flame Guard, before there can be a reaction with the Yule Scepter from Ember Spirit. And Na'Vi wants something that will help them in the fights too. Roshan will do exactly that. The Treants are on their way in, but it is way too late. Roshan's low, Roshan's dead, and Crystallize is now the possessor of the Immortal.
Yeah, they don't really need to give it to Dendi. Dendi has still a fair amount of Bloodstone charges. One of the reasons I do like this Lina mid for them a lot is so good at taking down objectives. I think people kind of forgot how good she was at taking down objectives. When she got nerfed, it was her Dragon Slave damage at lower levels, which hurts her laning, sure, but she still has a ton of range. She has really good talents for damage, and she's equally good at chucking down Roach as well as taking down towers. So, I mean, it just made it super simple. They didn't even have to expend anything, really, just Medallion, which is nothing for them.
Got a 4-man smoke up from VG.J in the bot river.
Super unexpected, though. It's during nighttime, and they just picked up the Aegis.
Alright, they're going to find Crystallize. If they can control him, there's a Searing Chains. Doppelganger has to be used. They're going to chase down the real one. As support arrives, Sylar's there, but they're underneath the shrine. Burning it quickly, and VG.J do not feel like they can find this kill, or can they? A double Searing Chains back wall. The ship's coming in! Na'Vi! Well, they'll only lose to Nako. The Aegis, the Immortal, will bring Crystallize back to life again. They're keeping him out of the fight with the Torrent little buff. As Crystallize continues his run, they want more. Sleight of Fist Searing Chains now back off cooldown. They're able to hit it, but Doppelganger. Crystallize breaks free. Another Spirit jump forward. Light Strike Array from Dendy. Gonna fly, but astray. And VG.J realize they're in a little bit too deep.
That was a tiny opportunity for them too. Though I really do like that play. It's a really difficult play to make. I don't know if the Arcane rune had anything to do with it. Ember actually had an Arcane and a Haste rune, so maybe he made the calls like, you know, I'm really strong right now. I know they have their items, but normally you wouldn't stick a fight right there. And VG.J catch them completely by surprise. They lose to Aegis, and it looks like they're going to lose their Shadow Shaman. No big deal. Here he has his axe. This is a really early axe from him.
Yep. Roger, I think, was actually hoping to kill off the Courier, but yeah, he'll take a hero. He'll take the Shadow Shaman.
There's no nighttime anymore, Roger.
X marks the spot, pulls him back in, but there's no tier 1 towns, there's no big damage, but Torrent, Ship, Roger is low. Where are friends? Yang's in the tree line, not with a lot of mana to work with, and Na'Vi have all the numbers. In fact, they've got 5 heroes here. While Ember's pushing in the top lane, Sylar's forcing in the bot lane.
They need a way to deal with these PL illusions. Right now, they don't really have enough AoE. They're gonna need...
They're getting Maelstrom on Sylar.
Yeah, I don't know what the Ember Spirit goes for, though. You can go Battle Fury or you can go Maelstrom. I'm not sure which one he prefers this game. He went for Spell Amp on his talent, so likely going to be Maelstrom, I would say. But Battle Fury is sometimes the item of choice versus PL in particular. PL and Meepo are generally the 2 heroes that you consider building Battle
Quick
Fury.
Orchid. Vac gonna cancel the TP out, so the Orchid pop, not enough to get the kill, so Kama will do it himself with the blades.
I also like how he went for no BOT builds too. Like both teams are eschewing normal item builds in order to get an early lead. And yeah, VG are down in gold, but they're still like making very fantastic plays, and I think their teamwork and their swiftness can overcome this network deficit.
Yeah. So what you can basically hope for in the best of every kind of Dota game, a team which is dynamic and can adapt on the fly. And, well, General. He tried to wait that out as long as he possibly could, but the control factors are so high. He's down for 44 seconds, and they didn't use Mass Serpent Wards here, VG.J. So if they want to go high ground with those Aghanims buffed up Mass Serpent Wards, they can do so. Roger chipping around the back, looking for an opening if he can find one.
They need a PL here. PL is one of the best heroes at killing the Serpent Wards.
Snakeo's taking so much damage. The range of the Mass Serpent Wards, even they back him back in again. The Mass Serpent Wards, one more attack should do it. Witch Doctor is down. Puck has buyback money available now. They've managed to get through all of the Mass Serpent Wards, so they're gone. But Dendy burns the BKB, runs forward, needs the kill on Yang, but he cannot get it. Yang has enough life to just surge himself away as Ember Spirit. A quick little jump, very, very slow, thanks to Diffusal Blade, but his Eul Scepter breaks free of it, and now he has to jump up the Spirit. It won't happen, however. Crystallize has the control. And they do find the kill, but we're 26 minutes in and that tier 3 tower almost died. General, with the Dream Call, catches Yang, and Yang has no other choice to stand, TP, and the damage, Eul Scepter. General has it back up again, now the surge away, but Roger will reach him with the Void to find the kill. Now it turns to Na'Vi to be the aggressors down mid.
Yeah, they might get a T2, but still, that was a ton of damage on T3. He's at like, what, 20% right now? So just even less than that, so just a little bit more. They can get a kill. Sylar, he's been doing a good job of not dying too. I think he can easily get chased out by the Phantom Lancer if he sticks around for too long.
The X on General is more of a pain. Not a real thing, but that attack range on Dendy, it's actually possible. They got Metastyle on Crystallize. They can have a lot of PLs on the front lines and just let Dendy be the cannon from range.
Yeah, good BKB show too.
Perfect fight for him as these teams try and keep it close. 21-21.
That's an even fight.
Each on the kill count. It is Na'Vi who are ahead, however. Experience is almost 10 grand, 10K for Na'Vi, and it's about 7,000 for the gold in favor of Na'Vi as well.
But VG.J have, I think, much higher upside in their team fights. They do have the Vacuum Torrent and Boat combo, which is huge, and they have a lot of AoE damage to dump into it as well. So, like, it could easily happen too, because PL doesn't have a BKB. If he gets hexed up, or even just torrented, he could just get blown up.
Dendy.
Yeah, that's a...
Shadow Blade setup, and like that's what we were talking about with initiation. There's just you can have all these defensive items and abilities, but if you can't get them off, that Light Strike Array connects, you're dead.
Yep.
And now General's looking for more. Dream Call able to catch out Io. And Fade wants to create a little bit of space. Just X-Mark, Torrent, and Ship with the Mass Weapon was down. Dendy protected by his BKB. The Orchid, it's onto Roger as Paralyzing Cast bounce a little bit too far. So no more bounces forward, but it won't matter when Crystallize and Dendy can move in on the target. Seneko splits the fight up by putting down the Maldic as well as the Death Ward. Fate will fall, and the sole survivor is Yang, who's trying to run away from the rest of Na'Vi all the way on bottom lane. This is not his fight at all. At least the illusion is beating into General, but General will create a little bit of space with his Yule Scepter. He is fine, while VG.J Thunder are in a bad position. AKA, they're about to be high ground by Na'Vi.
This is probably the closest that we've seen to an all-in strategy in the entire tournament. VG.J, like the Ember doesn't really fit in, but definitely the Nature's Prophet position 1 and the Shadow Shaman. And it requires very fine execution and very fine timing. And I think they really hit on most of those points except for one, which is the Roshan. I think if they had itemized a little bit better for that, something I really dislike about the Chinese teams is how often they just first item Scepter every time on Shadow Shaman. I think having like a lot of small items like Force Staff or Glimmer and or Medallion can really go a long way to helping win the game, whereas we haven't really seen the wards do that much.
This damage is nice to kill off at least one, but with the Dust Reveal on Dendy, he cannot hide. Starts his TP. They have enough to bring him down. Doesn't actually, well, he does deny himself with a Bloodstone, but still has 13 charges to go, and they're just drawing the line to go down mid. So that's the stupid thing here, right? And like I can kind of, I'm kind of with you with like the whole Aghanim Scepter first up, but they still have the power to push.
Yeah, I mean Dendy's already up. How much are they really going to be able to push?
If you push down the Mass Weapon Wards, the tier 3 tower is at least guaranteed.
They have good heroes to kill the Serpent Wards. PL and Lina, I would say, are two of the best cores at killing the Serpent Wards. Like it's not usually like, oh, drop wards, GG, don't let them get to our base. It's one where they have tons of wave clear and tons of right-click power with really fast attack speed to kill those wards very quickly.
But VG.J have almost no choice now. The Torrent connects over on 2, so does the slightest of Vincere chains, but the Dream Call is better from General. Holding VG.J back. Now the 3-man back wall. Only actually caught one of them in the wall, but allows for the boat combination. VG.J burning abilities for no real gain. The Mass 7 Wards has to be thrown outside the base, while Io holding puck in position. VG.J, they're still alive. The Searing Chain's controlling them. Crystallize, he'll break through the Doppelganger, but the damage is too much. VG.J just cannot survive through this, while Na'Vi low on life. They only lose General so far, but there's more damage to come. It's 1-for-2 trade-off. I cannot believe the Searing Chain's held him there. Seneko trying to stay clear of both the creep wave as well as Yang, but Dendy will find the kill just in time. I suppose at the end of the day, you still end up losing him anyway, so you hold your tier 3 tower, you repel the VG.J push. A good fight for Na'Vi.
Very good fight. And they forced them to drop the wards outside the base too, so no tier 3 damage. Shrine not available. Na'Vi, the PL is way too strong right now. They're really far behind in items in order to deal with them. Like, you want Mjolnir on Nature's Prophet by this point. He does not have it. So the fight starts off pretty decently. They managed to shackle up General after this on the top side of the fight and kill him, but they miss they weren't able to connect a lot of their spells. Like the vacuum plus the bow didn't really hit, but still they're in this nice little clumped up ball playing around the wards, which is great.
Yeah, positioning is nice, but Na'Vi, as you said, like they couldn't get hit by the combination the VG.J attempted. But you also thought that VG.J was off to a good start. Like, he got that Torrent on 2 inside, and then General just creating problems.
It's misleading, though, because the PL is still, like, he's not even close to in danger of dying. It's not like he has to build a BKB. He actually has a heart.
Yeah.
And then he can also go to 20 strength talent at 25. So, like, you need tons and tons of damage to burst through this, and right now there is not that possibility from the, I guess maybe they can like wall replicate it, maybe, but it's still not really going to be enough.
They're coming to fight all 5 heroes together, all ultimates up for VG.J. Who do they actually catch? Na'Vi will smoke as well. They're right a little bit further northwest. Now Dendy, Line Strike Array onto, the Searing Chains onto Dendy with the BKB. He is free. General with the perfect silence, and this is not the fight the VG.J wanted. They will get the fact back out. The ship is nice, and do they have enough? No, they really don't.
So
Conquer is toast.
This particular fight too. Imagine if they had a blink on the
GG.
If they had a blink on the Shaman, they could have disabled him before the BKB. But they have the Scepter that doesn't really do anything. So it was a nice try by VG.J, but overall Na'Vi with a much sounder strategy. The cores were able to deal with these mass summons very, very easily. I do like the early Diffusal build, completely countered the Ember Spirit. And VG.J, they did have some surprises up their sleeve for sure, but the Roshan fight was their downfall. Need a more well-oiled machine in order to take him down.
I'd love to see how that game would have unfolded if they didn't go for Roshan. They went for the tier 1 and tier 2 tower on bottom lane. Even at the end of this game, those 2 towers still existed. But it's like they were thinking, we get Aegis and then we go straight up mid. And we take a lane of Rax 25 minutes in?
Possibly, but they have to win a team fight still. I would have actually liked to see them take that team fight down on bottom instead of give that tower up for free, but they grossly overestimated their damage in the pit.
Yeah, that took way too long, but that game didn't. Game 1 is in the favor of Na'Vi. Game 2 is not far away.